So NetPrompt and Networkers Home are collaborating to create a industry academia partnership in the field of agentic AI for networking, which will be benefiting both the parties. For the students, it means that you'll get strong CLI training plus exposure to the AI driven tools. And our goal is to help you stay future ready or future safe. You already know that networking fundamentals are important, and that's what you're covering from your CCNA, CCNP journey. Today, we'll explore how AI is changing the way networks are managed and what it means for your career. This session will give you a big picture overview of real use cases, a demo of NetPrompt AI, and how you can prepare for AI-driven networking jobs. By the end, I expect that you'll see how AI can act as a co-pilot to make your life easier, make you work faster, and have your work less error-prone. So in today's agenda, what we'll do is we'll cover, first we'll delve a bit into the networking landscape. Then we'll define what AI means and why it matters in networking. Next, we'll look at the winning combination of CLI plus AI for your future. Next, we'll see some real life use cases in network operations. We'll get introduced to NetPrompt AI and understand its unique value proposition. Then we shall watch NetPrompt AI in action for about a 20-minute slot where you will see what are the differentiators and how it helps as a co-pilot or an assistant to a network engineer. Finally, we'll connect it back to your career path as CCNA, CCNP learners and engineers, and conclude with closing remarks and takeaways. Of course, we'll have a question and answer session along with that. So let's go to the networking landscape. CLI knowledge is the fundamental thing for any network engineer. And CLI knowledge is your foundation. So every engineer must master commands, protocols, and configurations. But manual CLI alone cannot be automated. It will be repetitive and error prone. AI doesn't replace CLI. It basically builds on top of your CLI skills to make your life faster and more efficient. Okay. Networks are multi-vendor. So in today's situation, there are different type of CLIs, basically different syntaxes for Cisco, Juniper, Palo Alto, Fortinet, HPE, and you can go on. So there is no end to just making the syntax by heart. But that doesn't take out the maximum of a networking engineer. According to Gartner, 80% of the outages come from human mistakes, usually misconfigurations, which is natural when a human is interacting with the network of that kind of a scale. Troubleshooting is slow. Basically, the MTTR can be hours because you will require lot hours of manual effort to do that if you were to do it purely manually on CLI and remembering the syntax. And training costs are high because every vendor has to have its own syntax and certifications, and they would also want you to have it certified, have the training attended. So that takes a lot of time for an engineer to be ready. And another aspect is that few domains are working in silos, like NOC and SOC teams work separately, sometimes with conflicting goals. So there it automatically also adds up to the timing. What we do with NetPrompt is to try to solve some of these challenges for the network engineer. The rise of AI in networking has been phenomenal in the past few years. Agentic AI means tools can not only answer questions but also take actions, can suggest remedial responses. In networking, this simply means auto configuration, troubleshooting, integration with IT systems. Traditional automation primarily relies on scripts or templates, and it works only if the syntax is perfect. Agentic AI here is different. It doesn't lay down such kind of hard-line rules. It understands your intent in natural language, translates it into device-specific commands. For an example, think of Google Translate. I mean, if you go to Germany and there is a German signboard there, all you need to do is just open up Google Translate from your mobile, point the camera there, it'll translate it into English from German. So you do not need to learn German. Similarly, in the world of networking, network commands across Cisco, Juniper, Fortinet, and others, you can understand as that those German signboards, and think of Google Translate in the paradigm of NetPrompt AI, which is your networking Google Translate for Cisco, Juniper, and Fortinet. It just simply lets you interact with that kind of a single interface which you understand, and you don't need to remember by heart that particular other language. So with agentic AI, you don't need to memorize every vendor's CLI. You can just say, allow HTTPS traffic during office hours. And the AI is intelligent enough to basically translate it to the syntax of the machine. It will push firewall rules in the correct syntax. It'll understand which firewall is there. Is it Palo Alto? Is it Fortinet? And accordingly generate that syntax. And it'll allow HTTPS traffic primarily during office hours for that particular firewall. Or for example, another situation, check if there is no routing loop between Delhi router and Bangalore router. Now, that means if you were to do it in a CLI, you will have to remember that syntax for Delhi router. And unluckily, if the Bangalore router is also not of the same make, then you remember another syntax for the Bangalore router. But if you were to do it via NetPrompt or for any agentic AI platform, AI queries devices and gives you the answer. You just need to query in simple English. When I say simple English, it is not please, kindly, and all that. There is something called as prompts. AI understand prompts, and you have to give the instruction in the form of prompts, which is not different in other English the normal English language, but you don't need to start to get into grammaticals and semantics of please, can you, kindly, and all that. You just directly come to point saying, check if there is a routing loop between Delhi and Bangalore. That's it. So MTTR drops because of this from hours to minutes, because AI correlates logs, configs, and telemetry and other things. Errors reduce because AI validates these configs before pushing them, not trial and error. So it doesn't just automate tasks, it makes decisions proactively, and can self-correct. So many companies are already adopting this. By the time you graduate, AI will be expected skill. It'll be more like a mandatory tick in box when you go and look into the qualifying criteria. So that's why we say CLI plus AI is a winning combination. CLI builds your fundamentals. It's a non-negotiable thing. I will never say that please forget CLI and from now onwards only start working on NetPrompt. It is like saying for a computer engineer, don't do programming, just understand language and that's it. And if your logic is fine, don't do programming. So it'll be suicidal. I'll never say that. But AI builds on top of those fundamentals of CLI and doubles your productivity. So think of the AI as your assistant. Never think of it as a replacement, because ultimately a human brain is much more intelligent than an artificial intelligence machine. Human brain built that artificial machine. So it'll never be able to replace that. Together, CLI plus AI makes you a much stronger networking professional. You don't need to waste your, or rather spend your time, full time into finding syntaxes, running those syntaxes, looking into logs on what the output means, and then coming with a inference. You can simply do that much faster with a agentic AI or with a platform like NetPrompt. Now let's look at AI use cases in network operations. So, example, including automating VLAN across switches, running compliance audits in seconds, analyzing logs and troubleshooting, which I shared in a brief, and I will also show you in the demo when I cover that up. Creating ServiceNow tickets automatically. Now it is a mandatory requirement that you will have some kind of a ITSM tool integrated to your network devices, and you will need to learn that. Most commonly used is ServiceNow, and NetPrompt is integrated with it from day one. These tasks that currently take engineer hours can now be done by AI in minutes. So that is empowering you to have more time to think of, use your experience, use your learning from your courses, and implement much more than what you would have otherwise done in a manual way. Let's introduce NetPrompt for you. NetPrompt AI works best when you already know CLI. Like I said, CLI is a fundamental. You cannot replace it. So you need to know that. But after that, you don't need to buy hard the entire Cisco syntax book or a Juniper syntax book or a Arista syntax book, because ultimately human brain has a limit to remember these things. You will make some human error here and there. And that is where AI comes in to help to remember that part, but you apply your CNI knowledge and network engineering CCNA, CCNP, CCIE knowledge. It lets you manage networks with natural language prompts. For example, instead of typing long OSPF commands, you can say, check OSPF neighbors on router 1, and it works just with that, because NetPrompt understands that router 1 is a Cisco router. So I have to write a Cisco syntax, check OSPF neighbors for Cisco syntax means this, and this is how I will check. Or if it is a Juniper, then it understands Juniper. Right now, NetPrompt supports Cisco, Juniper, and Arista routers and switches, Palo Alto and Fortinet firewalls. It also supports D-Link and HPE switches. And we are in the process of adding much more beyond this. Why NetPrompt AI is unique? Firstly, because we support multi-vendor. There is nothing existing right now which works across the platform, across the devices, and across the vendors. We offer agentic workflows and are designed to let students experiment with real world AI networking tools. So it's a network aware environment. But what I mean by that, and I will show you again in the demo, is it doesn't just remember that I'm sitting on switch 1 or I am sitting on router 1. It also remembers that if I am switching on router 1, there is also a router 2 existing or 3 existing. So I basically it remembers the entire topology rather than remembering its own device. And that's why we say it is network aware. Unlike vendor specific automation, this prepares you for any environment. So we won't say agentic AI or NetPrompt is preparing you for Cisco or for Juniper, for Arista. We are preparing you for networking. We are preparing you for network fundamentals and networking concepts. Devices are like I said, gave the example of Google Translate. It's language. As long as you know how to talk, and as long as you know how to listen and understand, language should not be a problem. Similarly, in the world of networking, as long as you know your CLI, as long you know the networking fundamentals, the device type or a OEM maker type should not be a problem. Now, having said that, let's look into a live demo, because I strongly believe that proof of pudding is in eating. So we'll show you some examples. We'll check interfaces status. We'll open a ServiceNow ticket and run a compliance check. And this will demonstrate how AI boosts your efficiency without replacing your fundamentals. So again, before going to the demo, I will just like to reiterate, CLI knowledge is required. AI is amplifying your productivity. It's not a replacement. With that, I will take you to the demo for NetPrompt, unless I will rather, in fact, pause here and see if there are any questions before we go to the demo. Any questions?
Yeah. How do you actually automate ServiceNow ticket creation? Because I worked on ServiceNow earlier. But I just want to, if you could just let me know how to automate that ServiceNow ticket creation.
So let
You
me
need, yeah,
help on
Pradeep,
that,
go.
Yogi. Sorry to jump in.
Yeah, no,
So
go.
so we have done a ServiceNow integration, API integration to our platform. So instead of navigating to the GUI interfaces and finding out what are the new tickets open, what are the
Mm-hmm.
details on ServiceNow, so you just need to give the intent, like give me the last 10 network related tickets. It will list you the last networking related tickets, and if you want to see the details about a particular ticket, you can just ask NetPrompt saying that show me the details of this particular ticket, and it will show you there as well. If you ask NetPrompt, please help me to troubleshoot this ticket. If it's a network related ticket, it understands what exactly the ticket is about, and what needs to be checked on the devices and other stuff. It will say that as per the ticket, this commands needs to be run. Do you approve? Once you approve that, it runs commands on the devices. It will give the summary about what it has found out, and later you can say that please update these details on the ticket. It will update the work note in the service note ticket.
Okay, so okay, other than that, sir, in my professional career, I used to assign. I was working as a change manager, change implementation manager. So we used to assign certain changes or the projects to the NOC team. So yeah, how does this NetPrompt AI help to assign it to say particular L1 or L2 or L3 NOC guy? How does that work?
So basically, currently we have the ability to create a tickets, but assigning is something we not recently. I would say it's not currently available, but so that's a good input. Future releases will make sure that assign to a group or assign to a person will incorporate as well. But currently, it can create the tickets. You can assign the impact, priority. You can give the description, short description for creating the ticket. So, if there is any specific requirement for additional parameters, it's just the integration of REST APIs. But we already have the framework for that.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
So I think that was Prashant, right?
Yes, indeed.
Yes. So Prashant, ITSM workflow is in our roadmap right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like Pradeep said, it's on the creation and updation of tickets. But ITSM workflow, where the task allocations and the assignments have to happen, that is under a part of ITSM workflow, which is in our roadmap in the future releases. So that is coming up.
Okay, good. Thank you.
In fact, show you also about the ServiceNow ticket, and you'll be able to appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah. I look forward to that.
Any other questions before I start with the demo? Okay, I take it as a no. So let's go ahead. This is the NetPrompt framework. Basically, it comprises of two parts. One is the VM, which is the virtual machine. It is there in your in-prem. So what I mean by in-prem is that this particular virtual machine will be housing your just a moment. So that will be housing your configurations, your basically authentications, credentials, and all the specifics of your environment. And then there is a LLM generative AI there on the cloud. So what we do is we store all the login passwords and all your IP addresses, all the specifics of the routes, etc., on this VM. We don't store anything of that detail into the cloud. Our cloud is basically the LLM, which is context insensitive, so it's not storing anything on the cloud. It is basically using the instance, processing it, and giving back to the VM, and that's it. It doesn't remember. Neither do we use it to train it for any other customer. This is your own instance which remains with you. So that's about the security and the privacy part. Now, having said that, your VM basically integrates with all your network devices. So it can be multi-vendor, multi-type, everything gets configured in this VM. And the cloud is basically providing the generative AI or the agentic AI inputs for next actions and next set of activities which can be taken. Here we have prepared a demo network, and I wanted to show this picture so that when I take you to those telnet sessions, you'll be able to appreciate that. We have 3 sites and 1 internet router. This site, first site, is a Mumbai site, which is a Cisco site. That means it has a Cisco router, Cisco firewall, and a Cisco switch. There is a Chennai site, which is a Juniper, which is a Juniper firewall, Juniper switch, and a Juniper router. And Bangalore site, which is a bit of a hybrid site, where we have Arista router, Arista switch, but a Palo Alto firewall. And when I say network aware, there'll be a single net prompt which will be remembering this entire topology. And when I say Bangalore, Mumbai, or Bangalore, Mumbai, or Chennai, it understands that which site is which configuration, which OEM, and which syntax to use. So now with that, I will take you to NetPrompt user interface. The interface is quite similar to ChatGPT or Gemini. So it is like yet another generative AI look you will get out of this. So here is our NetPrompt. This is NetPrompt. And like I said, like any another generative AI platform, this also has a simple look and feel. You can simply say hi, and it will tell you. Now, I'll simply use, I also have put 3 putty sessions, which is on the Bangalore side, which is Arista. I have put Mumbai, which is Cisco. And I have put Chennai, which is a Juniper site. So I will first ask it. I had said on your presentation, I had mentioned that we will check interface status on Cisco router. So we'll say check router status on Mumbai R1. So it understands that Mumbai R1 is a Cisco site. It generated this kind of a Cisco command for it. And we have a human in a loop approach. That means every command will ask you to approve so that there is no chance of, a mistake or a chance of error. So you will have to approve each of the command. Now that it says, this is what I'm going to execute. Once you say a yes, it goes there. And I will, in fact, I should show you the putty session because it is on Mumbai R1. See, this is your thing going on right now on the site. So this has done a telnet. It is basically checking all the router status, and now it gave it back. So that is how you can do. Otherwise, you would have had logged in here on this site. You would have executed these commands and then come back. But what NetPrompt did was it did a telnet to this. It executed these commands, got the command in Cisco format, and translated it into a simple English. So what it is giving you here is a summary. It is giving you the interface status, which is basically gigabit Ethernet, what all IPs are there, because I asked it to check interface status on router 1, router status on Mumbai R1. So it's giving you all the router status, all the links. Then what version it is running, Cisco iOS, how much time has been uptime, what are the routing, if OSPF is configured, what are the static routes, and so on. And it also tells that router is appearing functioning normally, or interfaces are up, routing protocols are configured, so on and so forth. So by a simple one-line statement, which was check router status on Mumbai R1, you could do this much faster than what you would have done on basis CLI. Now let's see what is the second thing. We were talking about automate ServiceNow ticket, and I think Prashant was interested in that. So Prashant, now look at it. Show. I'll open.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, I have one question. How to link with that topology? This.
Okay. I'll come to that. Just let me complete this, or maybe let's do this. I'll first
Yeah.
go to the other. So in the
Okay.
topology, we have a complete configuration here. This is a device configuration. When you set up, this is the VM. Basically, when I was showing you this picture here, this is the VM you are interacting with. Okay. This is the UI for VM. So in this UI,
Okay, fine.
basically when you are configure, you will say device and right now I have configured like this. So you will have to define your topology. Like here, I have made this topology and I have entered IP address and routes for this. This is the initial configuration you'll have to do. Like, for example, you see here, Bangalore R1, Bangalore S1, which is a switch, Chennai R1, Chennai S1 as switch and routers, firewall, and so on. It is covering these topology from these IPs. And in the beginning, you will have to, once you install this, you will have to do the configuration. For that, you go to add device, you take the device name, IP address, manufacturer, like I said, Cisco, Juniper, Arista, Palo Alto, and so on. You have to put the device type, you have to put the site name, proxy terminal, IP address, and once that is done, then basically you configure that site. And similarly, you keep doing it
Okay.
for multiple sites. And we also allow you to do a CSV file upload. So if you are ready with this entire table like it is being shown here, then you can always do a CSV file upload and you can upload this configuration much faster.
How
Okay,
about
fine.
how about the login credentials that this tool would use to telnet or SSH into the devices to get us the output on?
Yes. So there is something called as managed credentials. You can keep adding the devices and you keep assigning the passwords to that.
Okay, and just it just flashed through my mind. So as you mentioned that we need to add all the details about the router IP address. So is there any development work going on at NetPrompt AI wherein the tool can read or read the entire topology or a screenshot of topology and accordingly add the devices?
I call this plug and play, and I've been discussing this quite frequently with Pradeep. Right now, what we support is auto upload via CSV. But yes, this is a thing which many of our business partners have proposed, and this is under works that we can do a topology upload. Okay, so this is
Okay.
in roadmaps, but I will, since Pradeep is the technical brain behind this, I will uh, I will give the floor to him so that he can answer more if there is something to it.
Yeah, I think Prashant, that's a interesting feedback. We are getting that feedback from a lot of our technology partners. So we are looking. We have already have something on a roadmap where the NetPrompt can do a auto discovery on the network and identify the routed switches, and it will automatically populate those information on the device information, so that the users does not need to key in separately. That's already there in the roadmap, but thanks for the suggestion. We already planning to align that in our future releases.
But Pradeep, you said you the team is working on auto discovery, but all these devices they generally come up with the CDP just like Cisco Discovery Protocol, but it is disabled for security purposes. So then, how does NetPrompt AI address the security purposes if the client says if it is auto discovering the topology itself? There could be that could lead to security issues.
Yeah, that's other interesting point. There are additional tools like network map and other supports, but in most of the organizations, those things are not. Those protocols are blocked for security purpose. So we have plans to integrate to network management tools. If the customer has some already have some inventory database, our framework has the ability to look into the inventory database and automatically populate that information to NetPrompt AI, or it has the ability to do a API calling to the inventory database. In the future roadmap, we also plan to integrate to network management tools, where the network management tools already have that information, and NetPrompt can use the APIs to call those network management tools and know the device information.
Okay, great. One last quick question. This has been haunting me most of the time as AI. So we we key in, say for example, some of the Gemini or other AI tools, we can key in the photographs or the topology or something, so that we could build up the configuration. But I'm just trying to understand by the perspective of organization or the enterprise networks or the businesses, how open are they to are they or how open are they to share their network designs and other stuff with the AI companies to, when they are buying that product. It just for my info may not be relevant, I guess. I'm not quite sure though.
Yeah, but
I'll
such a
answer
great. Yeah,
this.
go ahead. Sorry, please.
Yeah, I'll answer this. Like I said, look at this picture. This is in prem. That means that picture which you are talking about is here.
Mhm.
This is in your premise. This is not going anywhere. This is configuration specific. So it is there in vendor premises or the enterprise's premise. So even if they are uploading this picture, this is remaining here. This doesn't go here. So that's what is the security aspect. It is in the same subnet. It is in the same behind the same firewall.
Okay.
Yeah, because we are not sharing any credentials or any topology outside the enterprise cloud.
So let
Okay.
me add up to your question, Prashant.
Yeah.
Basically, your concerns are pretty valid. In AI offerings, also there's a public offerings like your Gemini, Google Studio, and Google also offers something like private cloud environment like Vertex AI or Azure Open AI. Those are just like your private cloud, and you have instance on private cloud. The data is as much as secured. The same for the AI inference nodes as well. When you talk about AI inference nodes, no data is getting permanently stored on the cloud. It just the message goes there, comes back processed, that's it. And whatever the contextual data, as Yogi said, that remains on premise. That only is stored and kept on the customer premise. Nothing is stored permanently outside the premise.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that addresses my question. Thank you very much. Thanks, both of you.
Yeah, welcome. Let's go ahead. Now that I am on this panel, I would like to show you two very important functionalities which you will appreciate. Since I understand that most of you understand Linux, right?
No, sir.
Okay. No. Okay. Uh, have you worked on some kind of a embedded real time embedded RTOS kind of a thing?
I haven't worked though, but do know the basics of Linux in
Yes.
terms of automation, how it
Huh.
could be used, but not to the embedded wherein the tool, wherein the device itself can do things on its own.
Yeah, basically just telling you the functionalities of the operating system. So Linux has something called as a cron, which is a cron job, and cron job basically runs the tasks in background. You don't need to keep asking that. For example, if I have to say uh, check ping rate at router 1, alert me if the packet drops are greater than 20%. I don't need to keep going and asking every 5 seconds, what is the ping rate now? What is the ping drop rate now? There is a cron job. There is a background task for that. And something similar we have done here. It is called as a task scheduler. What it does is you can define what tasks you want NetPrompt AI to execute in the background. It will keep executing that and create a ServiceNow ticket the moment it meets your criteria. So that means you give it a task saying, check packet, monitor packet drop rate at Juniper site or Chennai site, create ServiceNow ticket if drop rate higher than 25%. So it will keep doing that. You define the duration or the timeout for that, and say every 5 milliseconds or 10 milliseconds, it keeps checking. And the moment it finds, it creates a ServiceNow ticket which is popped to the L1 engineer that greater than 25% packet drop observed on Chennai side. Or maybe check ping rate if greater than 50 milliseconds, alert. Then it keeps checking ping. If there is a ping higher than 50 milliseconds, then it just creates a ServiceNow ticket. That is one beautiful functionality of a task scheduler here, with which you can put some tasks to the background rather than remembering or executing yourself. And another one I wanted to show you was this custom prompts. With custom prompts, what you can do is you can write small single command, which is your prompt, and that in turn is a series of commands, complex commands, say 20, 25 commands. So suppose, for example, if I were to in future write this, I will say NetPrompt sec audit. That's it. But what the sec audit does is, it is a series of commands here in simple English. You don't require any Python or any scripting knowledge. It can take you, and you can execute multiple such complex activities, where in this task, like what we are doing, we are auditing and verifying network devices, running configurations to ensure compliance, and implement best practices like identifying vulnerabilities, providing prioritized correction and recommendations based on the criticality. So this is a set of complex command which is doing a security audit, but you don't need to keep executing each of these commands one by one. All you need to do is just say NetPrompt sec audit, and it knows what it needs to do. So I wanted to show you these two functionalities before I go to the next one, next other functionality in the demo. Like for example, now I'll show you the second part, which was a part of my agenda on automate ServiceNow ticket creation. So Prashant, now your point. I'll say check all open tickets with criticality flag. Sorry, with flag as critical. With critical flag. It understands what this needs to be doing. So it goes and it just starts to check. So I'll say high impact. It says that there is nothing for critical right now. There is a high impact, high, medium, and low. Do you want me to check those? So I'll say yes. Do you proceed with opening with high impact? So these are all the tickets which are right now. These are ServiceNow tickets. Okay. So these are all tickets which are open for high impact. It tells me that these are the tickets in new state within they need to be assigned. Then there are some tickets like in progress and some tickets which are on hold. So I'll take this down. I'll simply say show ticket. So it shows this one, which is Oregon. This ticket was basically Oregon mail server. I'll just take you to the list here. Yeah, this one. So this was the ticket, trouble getting to Oregon mail server. And this is the detail of the ticket then, what it does. So I can always go there and say update ticket mark on hold. So it understands the context. It says tickets are already on hold. Do you want to? So I'll say, just a moment. Update ticket, this mark in progress. So it says, do you want me to approve and change the status to in progress? I'll say yes. And it updated to in progress. Now we will see, check all open ticket, or rather show status ticket. This, it should be now from in on hold to in progress. So here it comes, in progress. This is how we have integrated it with ServiceNow. So it knows the context. It basically keeps updating with this, and with those with this task scheduler and other commands, it automatically keeps updating those tickets, assigning to basically to the open or the in progress state. Then my third, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
You said about the task scheduler. Does it have a feature wherein we can say if check the work on this particular ticket ending with say 0039 and see if the circuit is up and clear for say 4 intervals, close the ticket?
Oh yes, you can always do that. You can always. I mean, basically, it is not just that I'm querying and I'm just updating the ticket. I can always assign a task and say update this in ticket. Pradeep, you can speak a little bit more on
Yeah, so
this.
that in case if
Yeah,
we can schedule
yeah,
that task to close the
yeah.
tickets where intervals are up and clean, so that way it would reduce the workflow on the tech.
Oh
Yeah,
yes, of
Prashant.
course. Yeah.
So it's all about prompting, Prashant. As you said that whatever you can, for example, you are typing something like troubleshoot this ticket and saying that if the temperature is still high, change the priority to high. It's just a prompt. If to think about the same thing, doing a Python coding and all, it too takes a lot of effort. But ours is a zero code platform, simple by creating the prompt. You can monitor the tickets. You can give some conditions saying that if the temperature is more than so and so, raise the criticality of the ticket, it will do it. See, that's a
Okay.
good question. It's pretty much automation is possible on a platform without any coding.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
And we have defined multiple templates. So, Sushil, sorry, I'm taking more time, but this is an interesting discussion for the students, so it's important that we cover it up. I'll try to still be
Yeah,
fast
yeah, no
and
worries. Please continue. Take your time.
yeah,
There's no
yeah.
problem.
Yeah. So there is something called as data anchoring. And here we have built up some templates. These are all user configurable and you can define new templates. So these are, for example, we have put some of these. You can make your own templates. And with those templates also you can define, like here it is a troubleshooting template. I'll say troubleshooting template for Palo Alto, PanOS on a firewall. It says what type of a template you want. So I'll say I want switching commands here, and you can see that these are the templates already made. And if you want, you can always modify this as per your configuration, as per your requirement. You can generate a new template and introduce it here and start using it. So every time, basically the idea is reuse. AI simply means reuse. You don't need to keep spinning the same wheel. Once I have made a template, next time I should be able to reuse and build on top of that. That is what we believe in. So these are the templates you build on top. Similarly, you can use these templates in some of your custom prompts. So you can you refer to those. So that way, a custom prompt with about 20-25 commands and this template having another 50 commands, you can refer to them in a way that when you say NetPrompt sec audit, it is executing something like 70-80 commands in a shot. So that is the power of automation we wanted to show you here.
Yeah, just to add on that, basically every organization has its own choices in terms of what command to use, what
Hmm.
configuration templates to use. That's where NetPrompt is unique. That's where we say that network fundamentals and CLI knowledge is pretty important. You cannot avoid it. So the guy, whoever is managing a AI systems like that, they should have some level of command level of understanding and network fundamentals so that they can customize the tools like NetPrompt AI to match the particular customer scenario.
Exactly. I mean, imagine, I don't expect you to by heart a Cisco syntax book or a Juniper syntax book, but I do want you to by heart what is switching, what is spanning tree, what is the switching configuration, what is the VLAN interface, because if you don't know that, then there is a problem. Syntax is fine. And see, here it is all simple English, but I am referring to a trunk port. I am referring to a spanning tree protocol. I am referring to VLAN assignments. These are fundamentals I would want you to know, because without that, it's not possible. And for that, CLI is very important so that you understand this. And once you do that, then you can start to write it in simple English because you have your concepts in place. So you can just simply start to write one by one and have multiple templates in place. Okay.
I've got a doubt
Huh.
here.
Huh.
So
Good.
NetPrompt as a product, is it fully focused on this Gen AI feature prompting the engineers prompting for the commands and stuff like that, or is it also focusing on handling the issues end to end? Like, for example, if there's a link issue or something, can this do anything like when it is resolved, automatically go and close the ticket and stuff, that kind of integration, or is it completely like a prompting and giving the answers kind of a product? What is
No,
the
no, yeah. I'll come. I'll tell you. So we, like I started my presentation, we are a agentic AI platform. Our input mechanism is generative AI. We are not a generative AI platform. That means the definition of agentic AI is it is not just giving you answers. When you ask Gemini or when you ask ChatGPT, you write something, it gives you answers, and that's it. Agentic AI builds on top of that. Agentic AI not only gives you answers, gives you remedial actions. And if you say a yes, then it takes those actions, it updates few other things. So, example, if I were to say check MPLS links on all sites, bring them up if any router down. It will check MPLS links, tell me which all links are up, and it will also say this link is down, should I bring it up? I'll just say a yes, it brings it up. So it is also that mechanism. It is a complete holistic mechanism of workflow where it is answering your prompt, telling you next actions, updating service now, and taking those remedial actions.
Sorry, if I am not misunderstood, Amir, what he meant was whether this tool will automatically do the tasks in the background on its own to rectify any circuit. Say if it is a circuit is up down, it will the tool bring the circuit up, or do we have to manually involve with prompts to check the circuit and then bring it up?
Yes.
Is
So
that
Okay,
what
these
you
are
asked, Amir?
yeah.
yeah, even that
bolo.
also is part of it? Yeah.
Yeah, so the idea is a very good question, Amir. So that's where the task scheduler comes in. So you can give something like a task scheduler checking, saying that monitor the MPLS links on a particular site and raise a service now ticket if you are seeing a CRC errors or if you are seeing a high latency on the MPLS link. So if you do a task scheduling, our agentic AI is intelligent enough. It's not just the command aware. It's a network aware. It knows that on which particular router the MPLS link is connected and what interface. You can define the interval saying that every 10 minutes I want to check it. It will check it every 10 minutes. If the interface goes down, or if you're seeing a high number of CRC errors on that interface, or if you are seeing a latency high on that particular link, it will automatically generate a service now ticket. So when you want to close the ticket, yes, in the future versions it can do, but the current versions, what you can do is that you already have the ticket, you can mention the ticket, saying that troubleshoot this ticket. If the latency is high for that particular device on the ticket, it can upgrade the tickets to higher priority or higher impact.
Okay, if I have to recommend this product to any of my clients or something, what would be the biggest USB you will be putting forward? The feature.
Multi-vendor.
Yep.
Multi-vendor. One
Multi-
single USP, multi-vendor, multi-device. So I don't think there is, I mean, even though there are contemporaries like Everest, I don't think they cover that kind of a span where it is a huge set of devices as well as huge set of OEMs. And at the same time, it is not completely in the agentic AI format. They have their own GUI. I strongly believe the moment you put it into the GUI format, you restrict the capability of a platform. That's the reason ChatGPT is not in GUI. That's the reason Gemini or Grok are not in GUI, because the potential of generative AI is in prompts. You cannot capture prompts into a GUI.
Okay. Okay. I think you are also depending on like the logic of the engineers as well, who actually knows how to manage a network
Yeah,
as well, right? So
yeah.
just to avoid that dependency, do you have like a master list of all possible, prompts or the use cases which NetPrompt AI will be able to
Yes.
handle? If
Yeah.
that is the that if it's something which you can provide also, that can be useful for even for us to just take it to the clients or the
We
customer?
Yeah, we had discussed this topic with Sushil. He knows this one. And here we were talking exactly about this. We have made a list of something like, I'll just show you, 101 use cases. So we have a guide, which is installation guide and use case guide. And in this, we have covered a list of use cases, 256 use cases category wise. Like, for example, you see here device configuration. I have a huge set of use cases for device configurations which are possible. Similar way, there is a huge set of use cases for routing and switching, security, and so on. And at the end, what we've done is, apart from these 256 cases, we have defined something called as 101 prominent use cases. This is the list of use cases which is used across the globe by the various networking companies in various segments. So this is a summarization of those use cases which are being used. You can say most prominently used use cases across the world, and that is also here captured in the various categories like device configuration, routing, switching, security, monitoring, troubleshooting, uh, automation and templates, compliance and audits, multi-vendor comparison, and so on. So this entire set is there, and in fact, our idea is to get these use cases implemented as a let's say, exercise by networkers, home engineers, so that they take up one or two of such use cases and build those as a part of their exercise and learn how to implement these use cases. So
Yeah,
yes, we
well
have
taken.
very, very unique library for that.
Yeah, yeah. So guys, as Yogi told you guys, we have most of the use cases. Now we are focusing about the projects and all, right? Where we'll be assigning you projects where you can use NetPrompt as a solutions, as a real-time projects. Plus, we are also planning to include all this in our courses. So it's a phase by phase type of process that we'll be implementing, and we'll be giving you all the informations as well, right? So these are upcoming things, guys. Okay.
And still,
Yes,
I
sir.
remember that, and I understand that since the last question was reframed twice, so I would like to just summarize that. NetPrompt basically works in a human in a loop approach. And the reason for that is we don't want any unexpected error because of misinterpretation between or misunderstanding between AI and the engineers thinking. So we ask answers for each and every step. But technically speaking, from a platform standpoint, nothing stops me from removing that human in a loop. And if I remove that human in a loop for a scenario where you are 100% confident that, yes, this is how it is to execute, these are the 8 cases, and I'm sure that this is exactly what I want, then you can automate all of that. And after that, you don't require any separate human in a loop. This will all work in the background and execute some those set of 50 100 tasks and come back with the answer. So that is the power of agentic AI. But right now we are working in a human in a loop because we want every platform or a new customer to get comfortable and confident with their configuration before they start to go without a human in a loop approach. And for that, we also have a list of prohibited commands or unauthorized commands, which we define separately in our configuration, so that even if you want, by accident, you should not execute that and cause harm to your installation. For example, reflash router 1 device, merge router 2 and router 3 flash devices configuration, something of that sort. We will define those in list of prohibited commands, so that you do not accidentally damage the configuration and take more time to recover. So those are very much possible, and NetPrompt as of today is capable to do. I hope I could answer that last question, whichever was.
Yogi, I have a question.
Boliye.
Yogi, so you were telling that you're in a phase to build a high intelligent and very capable NetPrompt. Going forward, like if it is so network aware that what is the point of having so many network engineers, ultimately when if these kind of prompts come together all together in some point of time, maybe not very near future, maybe at some point of time, maybe in 5 years or 10 years along the time. So if it's so network aware, so everything it heals by itself, it works by itself, it corrects by itself, everything. So is this something point like I mean, should we worry about the job security going along the line with this AI?
I won't say that. I mean, when computers were introduced in India, people said that lots of clerks will be jobless, lots of those other guys, assistants will be jobless. And look at it today. I mean, all those clerks and all those assistants are now using computers and doing a higher level of tasks rather than those previous tasks. So it is an evolution. That's why I said a plain CLI engineer will have a lower credibility in the market than the networking engineer who knows AI plus networking. So it's like amplifying your potential. I'll not say it's your replacement, because ultimately a human brain is much more competent than an artificial intelligent machine. But you'll need to upgrade your skills to be in the race for the time.
Yeah. And
Monil,
and
we have seen.
uh,
Boliye.
yeah, I have a question. See, so far with networks, so and you said that we can automate the schedulers, and we have suppose that we I have worked around the clock, and suppose that as of now I just believe that NetPrompt is capable to schedule a change at sometime in the midnight, and the NetPrompt now to understand those situations and make the changes it built, or if we have scheduled something, or in a simple terms, for example, that if you take Cisco iOS that needs to be upgraded at off business hours, maybe late midnight, right? So if something goes wrong and the iOS gets corrupted, so how intelligent is this NetPrompt now to return back to a safe working platform?
So sorry, Yogi, let me help. The
हाँ
answer is
हाँ
that's where we bring as a human intervention thing, Manoj. Basically, we have a concept of custom prompts. So you need to write it out. You have this specific command that needs to run in. Post that you need to check these checkpoints. That's plain English itself. Then if these checkpoints are there, again this is the work back plan or this is the end plan. So by default our platform does not give the capability. It's all about the engineers working on the platform, how much customization they can bring to the platform specifically for that use case. Yes, if the engineer is good enough to write the prompts, our platform provides the framework to run the command, do a error check, and do the course correction and other stuff. It has the ability that is already built in the platform. But still, if you have a custom use case, still the engineer on the custom premise has to have the capability to write those custom prompts, check those custom prompts, and either schedule it or run it manually.
Okay, okay, Pradeep. Thanks.
Does that answer?
Yes, yes, sure, yes.
Yeah.
I have one more. I have a question.
बोलिए
Am I audible? Like, so with the NetPrompt AI, so we need to understand what the network is, what the OSPF command, how it behaves. So we need to define in NetPrompt so that it will work with the customer network and give us the output, or it will take any other data source to analyze by itself.
So it's already there. The default things, the default behavior. If you say if you want to see the OSPF, that's already inbuilt in the platform. But if you want to see the specifics of say what is the LSA LSAs getting advertised, or you want to run the set of commands that suits your I would say appetite for troubleshooting the network, those can be customized. But just for looking OSPF and all those things are already aware our platform is intelligent as well, currently without doing any customization.
No, so I'm asking like how it is understanding. Like, like what is the data source? Like, for example, if I want to study something, I have to read from a book, okay? And likewise, how this AI is learning, okay, this OSPF means, okay, this is what the command output is, okay, this is what the engineer is looking for. So those kind of understanding, are we defining it, or like it's taking any other source to understand?
It's already built on our language. We already done something on the our language model. Our language model already understands what is, if it's specifically designed for network engineers. It understands the intent and it understands what needs to go in there as well. It's already built in our system. Yeah.
So look at this picture. When I said on cloud, this is not just plug and play. We have trained this LM. We have done a micro tuning on this, and after that micro tuning of certain number of iterations, this LM is now aware. It's not that you just plug in ChatGPT to it and it starts to work on it. So that micro training has gone in to create it to find a foundational LM for NetPrompt.
So this micro training is, built by humans. Like, okay, if show IP OSPF neighbor means I have to input the data feed. Okay, is it what you're saying?
Yeah, basically Pradeep did the micro tuning for this.
Okay. And this kind of terminologies are new for me. Like, so that's why I'm just curious.
Yeah. No
No,
problems.
no. I think we really appreciate your questions. The more you can ask, it will be helpful for us as well.
That on-prem VM and the cloud LLM engine, so they both communicate via internet. Like, is that inbuilt, or like, do you have specific connectivity requirements or anything if we are implementing this?
Yeah, so it's a private cloud. Whether if it's pretty much supports on Google Cloud. If the customer has something like virtual link to the private cloud, it can go to that private virtual path, whether it's a VPN or site-to-site VPN. But it's on a private cloud. It's not like a public offering. It's just like your instant sitting on a GCP cloud. The same way that the language models also goes to the private path, and it is encrypted both on the way as well on the rest as well. So there's a lot of encryption that happens.
One final question from my side. So Cisco DNA Center, for example, or Catalyst Center, if you want to call, like Cisco is doing a lot of development on that, making a lot of automation, the scheduling and stuff like that, right? So a lot of capabilities coming every other day in Catalyst Center kind of a thing. If some customer is already using that kind of a platform, what NetPrompt AI can do on top of it?
Can
That's the
Cisco's
final.
Catalyst work on Juniper? Can Cisco Catalyst work on Arista? Can it work on Pan OS or on Fortinet? HP Aruba?
Okay, so that's what you're mainly pointing out. Okay, got it.
So, but Amir, that's a really good question, Amir. We really appreciate that. We are a conversational layer above multi-vendor network. We are not bound to any specific vendor. You may be having a Juniper automation platform. You are having a Cisco automation platform. Our objective is to use the APIs and SDKs to integrate to our platform so that you can have a single interface, whether the vendor is Cisco, Juniper, or some other. You will still be able to talk to the platforms, whether it's an automation platform or it's a network device.
Okay, so if a customer wants some specific customized integration, like as you were saying, right, if about the updating as CSV and all, instead of that, if I'm using a SolarWinds NPM for my monitoring, so all my devices are already there in the SolarWinds, right? So you can create a customized integration between SolarWinds and your platform, so that even I can ask some relevant questions related to monitoring or whatever information. Okay, you say that, is my apart from you going directly to the CLI of this device, can I communicate through the SolarWinds NPM or some other manage engine or whatever OP manager or whatever monitoring tool I have? Do you offer also some customized integration with
Yes,
those?
customization is possible. Yes. Totally depends on the business case. Totally depends on the kind of deal potential. Customization is very much possible.
Okay, cool. Okay, thanks. That's all for myself.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, I have one question. What scope does NetPrompt AI as for network engineers like us in terms of job or the career?
Okay, I'll cover this more in the next slide. Actually, I'm sorry, I'm almost 15 minutes over time already. I had few slides just as a key takeaway. If you can just park the question until then, I will just finish the demo and go to the slides.
Sure, sure. No worries.
Yeah.
We are, I'm actually liking this session. I may even like to go for another 1 hour. So I am happy as long
Thank you so much.
as long as.
Thank- Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so final thing, uh, we have checked the interface status on Cisco. We have automated ServiceNow ticket. We check compliances across multi-vendor devices. And for that, I would like to show you the power of this. Now, just have a look, and this is where you will appreciate what a network aware platform is about. Check MPLS link on all sites. That's it. What happens is it identified that I have 3 sites: Mumbai, Bangalore, Chennai, and also pointing out which OS is where, what commands I'll execute. And now, with a human in a loop approach, it will start to go site by site and start to execute them. So I didn't tell that there are 3 sites. I didn't tell which site has what. Being network aware, it did the discovery from the topology and it did that. Now I'll say yes. It'll go to Mumbai site. I will just open the telnet session from Mumbai here. Now it has logged into Mumbai. It is checking the MPLS link status. It will take that Cisco format and now it printed here, which is the Cisco output. So it said, in fact, you can have a look here also. There would be a lot of these kind of more like, only the network engineers or an experienced guys can understand that kind of a format here, which it translated into simple English, which is interface status. It found gigabit Ethernet 0, 1, 2, all are up. There are OSPF neighbors and so on. And this OSPF works to be working fine. It said, now I'll go to Bangalore site. I'll just simply say yes. It goes there and I will show you the putty session for Bangalore. Here it is executing the Bangalore commands. It did that. Bangalore is a Arista site. It says, I found Ethernet 1, 2, 3, all are up, and OSPF is running. This is the thing. And here I would like to point out, you can always say, instead of saying check MPLS link status, check MPLS link status, and suggest actions. If you write some prompt like that, it will also say this link found down, do you want me to bring it up? I'll say yes, and in this same command itself it will also bring the link up. So that is the power of agentic AI, where I'm not only giving a prompt and getting an answer, but I'm also doing certain actions as a part of that prompt. So now we'll go to Chennai site. I will open the putty here for Chennai and I will say a yes. Now look at it. It goes to Chennai, logs in, does the Juniper command, and got you the answer. So Chennai output is all interfaces are up, OSPF neighbors are there, and now gave you a consolidated summary of the 3, which is Mumbai, Bangalore, and Chennai, what is there, and found out. So this is the meaning of agentic AI with network aware capability. It's not just sitting on one device, just minding its own business on its own device. So this is the demo I wanted to show you in brief. I mean, generally my demo takes about an hour, but due to the lack of time, I just included these 3 cases, and I had promised Sushil that we'll wind it up in 1 hour. But I'm sorry, I still have a few slides, but I think it's in the interest uh, of the audience that we go that way. Just allow me a minute. Okay, so now after the demo, I had promised that we will go into career angle for students. So these are last 2-3 slides remaining, and I wanted to focus that. I think there was a question about career opportunities for students. So I would say employers value both CLI and AI expertise. CLI is your foundation and AI is your productivity booster. So together they prepare you for the roles like net DevOps engineer, AI networking specialist, network automation engineer, and so on. These are the opportunities which are available for you. So these roles will be in high demands in the times to come. And why does this matter to you as CCNA or CCNP students? Because it builds your foundation. Industry is shifting. So industry expects that by the time you graduate out of these courses, you will be AI aware. And this is where Networkers Home will equip you with these additional capabilities than those other competitor training institutes, that you are also getting AI skills. Industry is shifting, and engineers who can work with AI co-pilots will stand out. They will have an edge against their competitive competitor students. Your future role won't be just typing configs line by line or putting syntaxes line by line. Your task will be designing intent, verifying AI actions. Somebody asked me that if everything is done by AI, then what will be done by you? You will be defining intent, network intent, what you want to do. You will be verifying AI's actions. You will be guiding AI to take those syntax specific steps. But what steps, you will decide as network engineer. So that will be your role rather than running device specific commands. Companies will value engineers who can combine networking expertise plus AI fluency. That is the key. Any comments or questions before I start to wrap up with the key takeaways?
Yeah, Yogi, do you have, is there present limitation only to this data networking field, or are you planning to, have a reachability towards the networking, like security, like maybe perimeter security or cyber security, like that?
Actually, I mean, we want to be a agentic AI for networking devices, which gives us more of a domain of NOC. What you are mentioning is the domain of SOC.
Yeah.
In future, if I were to look at, of course there will be autonomous NOCs and SOCs. Nobody can avoid that, but that is still somewhere down the line. It is like saying that today in radio networks, if you are in 5G, 6G is coming, something similar. uh, Although you are in AI for networking, autonomous NOC and SOC will take some time before it comes. So we are in alliance with certain SOCs companies. There are certain SOC companies as partners for us who are doing this job along with us. But there is a bit of a road to cover before we can actually see that happening. But when this happens, yes, we will combine that. I mean, change is the only way to survive, isn't it?
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, Manoj, to answer your question, we have pretty much we're currently also covering firewalls from Checkpoint, Fortinet, and so not Checkpoint, Palo Alto and Fortinet, and Cisco ASA. I know Cisco ASA is not relevant now. We do cover the devices, but if you're looking some sort of a IDS systems or IPS systems, we have in the roadmap, but not on the immediate roadmap. Yeah.
Okay, Pradeep, thanks.
Yeah. So now the key takeaways. Agentic AI is the future of network operations. It reduces downtime, errors, and costs, and it improves compliance and security. So for you, it's not a replacement, it's an opportunity to become more valuable. It is exactly like saying that, look, I know a particular skill, but somebody else saying that, look, I know this skill and I know how to also improvise and value add on this skill. Obviously the second one will be valued, and this is what you bring as a value when you know AI along with CLI. So it enhances your career. Now let's look into the certain question and answers if there are still remaining, although we had a very interactive session. You can ask questions about your careers or certification. Where do you think AI would put you in the future? Discuss real world use cases or troubleshooting, something we have already done. But I would just like to conclude by saying, remember, AI is a tool. You are the network architect. So these are two different things. You cannot, have a replacement get replaced by a tool. Even in places like Perplexity or any other place, even in Grok, etc., they haven't had any 100% replacement of human beings. So you still remain very relevant. It is just that you equip yourself with the technologies which are changing the face of face of the way we do things. That's all.
How can we utilize this entire net prompt that we have to learn? No? That's
Yeah, learn prompt engineering. Basically, you have to learn how to interact with the AI engine. We have to interact with the AI platform. Ultimately, see, the NetPrompt is not going to be the only platform in AI which you will work with. In future, when you take up a job, you will realize that there are many such AI platforms which are there. But what will be common in all of those is prompt engineering. If you know prompt engineering, if you know how to interact with the AI platform, you automatically have an edge. And by using NetPrompt in your courses, you will slowly learn the art of prompt engineering, how to interact with the AI platform. You do not read, you don't need to write please, kindly, can you, and all that, what you do in general English. But you just specify a set of crisp actions which can be taken. Ultimately, think of it this way: a prompt is a unit of data which will be broken down by GPU into tokens and processed. So one prompt can go down inside the GPU as multiple tokens. A token is the unit which a GPU understands, and the entire AI machine works on GPUs. So crisper the prompt, clearer the answer.
So whatever the terminologies you're saying, all new for me. So just suggest me like like I came from CCNA, CCNP. I know after college CCNA, CCNP. Okay, and I don't know any other skills. Okay, so where I have to start, like what else I have to learn, and then I have to jump in for the proper understanding with the terminologies and to get the proper hands-on. Like I asked a question, what are the skills required, and I got a response like prompting skills. So I cannot satisfy with only, I know when I don't know what is that prompting skills are, like it's simply asking a question or any other technical skills I have to equip with. So in that aspect, can you answer?
Yeah, so Sushil is already preparing a course syllabus. He will be sharing with you guys in terms of what is going to be shared, what is going to be a course of action for the syllabus. And in that, there we will include step-by-step approach on how to make a CCNA or a CCNP or a CCIE certificated engineer get equipped with AI. Maybe Sushil, you can comment a few more things on this, but I think that will be covered in the syllabus.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Sir,
anything else?
this will support only for only CLI or GUI as well, but with this some limitation. Can you conclude that?
Like I said, I mean, the power of generative AI is in prompts, and those prompts are best written in CLI. But if there is a need in future, NetPrompt can always integrate with GUIs, no problems at all. But if you ask me as in which direction the technology will go, I think with generative AI, at least for next 5 years, I don't think any GUI coming up which will be taking a majority of the industrial platforms. I mean, things keep coming. So ऐसा नहीं है कि for next 5 years you will not hear about anything related to GUI. But when it is talking about mass market adoption, I think that the prompt based CLI is going to remain for some years right now.
Yeah, sorry to jump in, Yogi. So, Ajesh, I got
Yeah.
your question. You were basically asking, can it manage the devices that have that have a GUI interface? Yes, if it's have a SDK or REST API opened, our framework supports such integration.
Hmm.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
So basically, if right now what we are doing on our CLI, if there is a REST API on a GUI which is available and it says take the inputs instead from the command prompt from the GUI, we can always read the REST APIs and we can always do the processing. But like I said, everything cannot be written in prompt on a GUI. So NetPrompt is open to customization, and we can definitely support that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Anything else? I'm sorry, Sushil, I took almost half an hour extra, but I think
So this is a recorded session, right? Because of I just
yes,
joined late.
yeah, this is recorded. Any other last questions?
Now, any update on job trainings, or what would NetPrompt offer for the on-job training or anything?
Well, I think it is still under discussion, so better that I do not over promise
Oh,
or
okay,
anything.
no worries.
Let's go through this alliance, and with Networkers Home, we will work out a plan.
Thank you.
So thank you guys. Thank you for attending, giving me time on a Saturday. Remember, CLI is your base, AI is your accelerator, and together with Networkers Home and NetPrompt, we will help you stay ahead. But networking careers are changing, and you are at the right place, so you can just trust on that.